Guys, there has been a major problem since the launch of Lightfall that I have yet to see formally addressed by Bungie, or really anyone in the Destiny community. We've seen this question circulating on Reddit, with many Destiny players wondering, how can I acquire Deepsight red border weapons of old craftable weapons? The answer is, currently, you can't. It's impossible to target farm all old Deepsight seasonal weapons, and that's 28 craftable weapons that a majority of post-Lightfall players, and even some veteran players, cannot craft because it's impossible to acquire their Deepsight versions, which is exactly why we make loot warning videos all the time. I'm not trying to incite the fear of God in you about missing out on some loot, but when Bungie says stuff is gonna go, you better jump on it. Feel free to check out this squad right here of weapons that are gonna be leaving this season. Now notice that we said 28 weapons are not available instead of 32. That's because we've actually seen Ikelos weapons drop as red borders in the wild. However, that is not the norm, simply the exception, and they are very, and I mean very rare. From our knowledge, none of the other craftable season weapons have made it into the raw loot pool. Thankfully though, this isn't a video complaining about Deepsight weapons being unavailable. Bungie did significantly reduce the grind for these weapons also in the final months before Lightfall, slashing vendor Deepsight drops from a 1-week time gate to a 1-day time gate. It was incredible. Now despite this, I know many players who didn't have the time or even the seasonal energy to grind all of these weapons didn't get them. So this is a public service announcement for anyone who wants to get their hands on all of these craftable weapons, and you can actually start earning these weapons next season. However, you need to start working on these today. Let me explain. In season 21, there will be a new feature arriving to Destiny called Deepsight Application. Essentially, what this will do is allow you to take a normal drop of a craftable weapon and apply Deepsight to that weapon, turning it into a red border that you can then harvest the pattern for. Now, there's going to be a few restrictions here. You cannot apply multiple Deepsights to the same weapon. For instance, if a weapon has a roll with the Deepsight in the past, you are unable to reapply it. And if the weapon has had a Deepsight activated on it before, you also cannot reactivate it. Also, this feature will be tightly controlled, and there will be a variation in cost depending on the value of the weapons, that being seasonal versus raid weapons, which by the way makes sense. Can you imagine bypassing the red border farm entirely? It would completely break the weapon crafting pattern grind. Now, all of this information is pulled from a weapon crafting article released before the launch of Lightfall, so it is possible some details may change, or at least extra clarifications before this feature is pushed live. But until we receive more information, this feature sounds like the perfect system to grind patterns that you haven't gotten yet. Now you may be wondering, Cross, it sounds great, but how can I apply Deepsight to weapons I don't even know? Well, I'm glad you asked. As mentioned earlier, all old seasonal weapons are not in the raw loot pool except the Ikelos weapons, which are again very rare drops. But this doesn't mean they aren't in the vendor loot pools. Currently, Xur and the Gunsmith sells weapons from previous seasons. At the time this video goes live, Xur currently has Firefight, Brigand's Law, and Plank Stride. And the Gunsmith is selling Ikelos. Guys, that's 4 seasonal weapons that you can grab right now. You can apply Deepsight to them in just over a month and finally get the craftable versions. Now, we've asked many members of the community to confirm if it is possible to obtain red borders from these vendors, and everyone has said no. We also have tried to get them to drop, but considering material costs, I do not suggest wasting all of it here just to see if one would drop. Unless we see some evidence proving otherwise, weapons you directly purchase from these vendors cannot roll Deepsight, which makes sense, guys. I wouldn't think it would, but I know someone in the comment section are gonna be like, Cross, did you spend everything you own just to make sure that a Deepsight border weapon did not drop when purchasing said weapon from vendors? And to that person, I say, spend your own shit. I got enough money problems, man. We were down to 10,000 glimmer just the other day. But this takes us to the strategy. First, I need you to take a look at your weapon patterns. These can be found on your collection page. And once you've opened it, check for every pattern you don't have from a past season. Now, these weapons include From Season of the Risen, Under Your Skin, Sweet Sorrow, Peace of Mind, Dauntless, Explosive Personality, and Recurrent Impact. From Season of the Haunted, Tears of Contrition, Firefight, Bump in the Night, Nezarec's Whisper, Hollow Denial, which is very good by the way, Without Remorse, Awstringer, definitely want to get that, Drang, Beloved, Callous Mini Tool. From Season of the Plunder, Brigand's Law, Plank Stride, Blood Feud, Tarnished Metal, No Reprieve, Cell Spy, Pitch Glass, and then from Season of the Seraph, Judgment of Kel'Garath, Disparity, Tripwire Canary, Path of Least Resistance, Fire and Forget, Retrofit Escapade, Ikelos Hand Cannon, Ikelos Shotgun, Ikelos Sniper, and the Ikelos SMG. Now, once you've established which weapons you need, determine how many you need of each. You may need anywhere from 5 patterns to 1 pattern, and then you wait for either the Gunsmith or Xur's inventory to update, and check to see if they are carrying any of the weapons that you need. If they do, then all you need to do is buy X amounts of that weapon and simply store these weapons weapons in your vault and wait for next season. Once that rolls around and we can then apply attunements, bada bing fellas, you got your craftable weapon. Now, if you're wondering, Cross, how the hell do I keep up with this every single day and every single weekend? Gunsmith, Xur, they're bringing loot in and out. Guys, come to my Discord. We have a new chat room. It is specifically for Xur and Gunsmith. It showcases every time weapon is refreshed, which ones you need to buy if you're trying to acquire old craftable weapons. A link to that room in our Discord will be down below. I'll pin a comment. I'll also have it in our description. But if you just want to check that Discord link every day, or at least have notifications on for that room, boom, as soon as one of these weapons are in rotation, we will let you know. Now, some final notes here. If any of the Ikelos weapons drop for you and they are not deep sight, save them. Xur and the Gunsmith can sell them as well, but you do not want to take the chance that they do not appear in their inventory before Season the Deep. Keep in mind, guys, Xur and Gunsmith inventories are RNG, so it's possible you get screwed over for the rest of this season and none of the weapons you need get sold. However, there are several weapons that, if sold, you also want to hold on to, and we're unsure if the acquisition quests have been removed for some, and others may just be difficult to target farm. That includes Palmyra, Tapan, Ragnarhild, Amit, which, guys, you gotta get Amit. Such a good auto rifle. Syncopation. If we ever find ourselves in the 390 round per minute pulse rifle meta, Syncopation is gonna be nasty. Now, something I do want you guys to answer for me, because I just don't have enough time to actually go seek all of these out. I need clarification on which of those weapons that I just mentioned here are still obtainable through the Witch Queen campaign, or simply just world drops in general. Matter of fact, for all the weapons we have mentioned today, if you have any knowledge on how to get some of these guns and where they may have been dropping for you, please let us know. Even if it is like an RNG drop, that's completely fine. We're just trying to find ways for folks that have not obtained old craftable weapons to still somehow get these weapons before Season 21. Deep sight application should be beneficial to all deep sight grinding, but will be the single best outlet for players trying to obtain old weapons, unless Bungie makes them available through other means. So guys, that is how you get old craftable weapons. I know we're still like 7 weeks out from the new season, but that gives you plenty of time right now to start stocking up on some of these weapons. Pay attention to the vendors. Again, we have that Discord that's going to be posting every single time those vendors refresh. We may even throw like Ada in there as well for like shaders. But again, guys, check your pattern progress for those old weapons. See what is left. As soon as we can get to the point where we can actually apply deep sights to our weapons, guys, that is going to make a huge difference in obtaining those craftable weapons. Well, fellas and ladies, thank you all for coming and watching. And as always,
slap that like button like your mama told you right.